What's up, family? This is Caden with Urban Finance. I almost got caught in a vacation club scam in my trip to Jamaica, and we'll talk about that in this video. The details are important, and I'll put scam in quotation marks because it's not technically an illegal business. It's just very scammy. So my wife and I took a trip to Jamaica maybe 2 at most 3 weeks ago, and we had an amazing time. Maybe I'll put some pictures and videos up so you can watch that as I talk about my experience with the vacation club, what it is, how it's different from a timeshare, and how the concierge that kind of walked up to the beach and made this proposal to us, how that all went down. And so the only reason that I went to the presentation is that they told us that we can get a free candlelight dinner just by attending the presentation. Now, we already planned to do the candlelight dinner. It did cost $120, and I figured, 2 hours of my time, why not? Plus, I'm into this type of stuff. I would love to sit through the presentation anyways. First red flag, and the thing that, I'll be honest, kind of got me mad, is that when we got there to attend the presentation, he mentioned that, there was some issue with the resort and they can no longer do the candlelight dinner for free, but they can give us 75% off. I said, hey, 75% off. I'm not happy about the fact that I feel lied to because he told me that it was gonna be free. And I can tell his reasonings were BS, but I said, okay, why not? I said yes. I didn't tell him I'm gonna continue with it because I plan to do a candlelight dinner anyways, but I said, okay, I'll just have to pay $35 for a candlelight dinner that would cost me $125. Before going to the presentation, my wife and I did agree that no matter what they present to us and no matter how good it sounds, we are not buying anything, we're not purchasing anything. We are only going to this to get our free candlelight dinner. And so I would say that 2-hour presentation turned into 3 hours. And so that's another downside to this whole vacation club thing. They misled us on the time, but I probably knew that regardless of the experience, whether it was a good one or a bad one, that I would be talking about it on my channel. So, that was another incentive for me to attend the presentation. It turns out when we attended the presentation, the concierge that we saw and asked us if we wanted to, pretty much sit through this presentation wasn't actually the salesperson. He just did the lead generation for the company that was promoting this, very adamant about it not being a timeshare, a vacation club. So let's call it a vacation club, even though there are a lot of similarities to a timeshare. The salesperson was actually a young lady. She was very nice, polite, and a pretty good salesperson in general. She took us on a tour of the resort and took us to their Ruby suite and was pretty much like, sometimes when you have a travel agent, they don't always purchase the best rooms, but with this vacation clubs, you'll always get the best rooms. And I will admit that the room that she did show us, for me, looked a lot better than the room that we were currently staying. We had a nice room, but the room that she showed us, it was on point. My wife wasn't impressed with the room like I was. She was just like, we're here. I love that woman. So to make a 2-hour presentation, what they told us, or 3-hour presentation, into potentially a 10 minutes video where you can be informed and get the information you need in regarding a timeshare or a vacation club. Yes, they were very adamant that it was not a timeshare. And here is why I call it a scam, even though it is just a legal entity that people are just doing their jobs. No offense to the salesperson. Like I said, she was a very nice young lady, and if she ever sees this video, it was a great presentation. She did her job really well. If her bosses see this, you have an amazing salesperson. The reason that I call it a scam is because throughout the presentation, they kept mentioning a one-time fee. So in order to be a member of this vacation club, you just have to have a one-time fee and you'll get access to all of our resorts. And they showed us the resorts around the world. And it was like, okay, these are nice resorts. And so they were clear that, even after paying the one-time fee, it was not going to be free. But say a vacation that will normally cost you $5,000, you're no longer paying for the stay and things like to rent the room. You're just going to pay for the food because most of it were all-inclusive resorts. And so let's say for a $5,000 vacation will just cost you $2,000 for the food after paying the one-time fee. And so in my head, I was thinking that maybe the one-time fee was about $10,000, maybe $17,000, because that's what you can expect with a timeshare, a fee of about $17,000 to, get your room in this resort where you can travel to occasionally, sometimes in a year. There are blackout dates and things like that. The one-time fee was $75,000. Yes, you heard me right. The one-time fee they kept mentioning is $75,000. Now, I'll be honest, we technically could potentially pay that one-time fee of $75,000 in cash. There's no way that we would do that, but I know for a fact that most people don't have $75,000 just sitting around to pay a one-time fee. And so if you can't pay the one-time fee, then that's fine. They will finance it to you, and you will pay over the course of 10 years the $75 at a 9% interest rate. And I think that for me was the biggest scam ever. That was the biggest part. It wasn't even as much as $75,000 as the 9% interest rate on $75,000. That is absolutely insane to me that anyone would actually pay that type of interest on $75,000. And this begs the question, there are so many people out there that do not know how much interest 9% is and will actually get into this thing thinking that they're getting a deal. And so after we told them no, they say, okay, then don't do the 10-year plan, do a 5-year plan, do a 3-year plan. And so we said no throughout most of it. And I think that's the huge part of the scam. They tell you it's a one-time fee, then tell you that one-time fee is an astronomical amount that you can't pay in one time, and that you'll have a payment plan to finance it if you can't pay that $75,000. I think that part of it was very scammy to me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Does that sound scammy? And on top of that, even after you pay your $75,000, it's not like it's free to go to these resorts. You're still paying for food. On your expenses will still come up to maybe 20% would have originally be. And on top of that, because now you're financing this thing, you're paying about $1,000 a month for probably 10 years in order to pay off this $75,000. And what I believe that will happen with most people is that after, in that high intense sales pressure environment, they sign up for this vacation club that is not a timeshare but sounds awfully similar to a timeshare. After they sign up for it, after about a year of paying $1,000 every month to go on a vacation that still costs them $2,000, they're going to realize it's not worth it. And then these people are going to make a killing off of you just in 1 year, even if you cancel. And that's one of the big selling points for the vacation club versus the timeshare. They took a lot of what people complaints were with timeshares and tried to address it, but I believe try to make up for that by charging you this huge one-time expense fee and a ridiculous interest rate. So here are some things that they say. Here is why the vacation club is different from the timeshare. A timeshare, you usually get to stay at one resort, and it may have blackout dates and things of that nature. In the vacation club, you get access to all of their different resorts. In a timeshare, you will have to pay maintenance fee to keep the building up, because everyone that owned piece of the timeshare owned part of that building, and so you'll have to pay to maintain it. With the vacation club, there is no maintenance fee, and the maintenance fee for a timeshare can go up every single year to the point that it's actually killing the people, not literally, but yeah, killing them financially. But the vacation club does not have those maintenance fees. The timeshare, you're locked into that timeshare. It is very hard to get out of a timeshare. The vacation club, you're not locked in. It is a lot easier to get out of it because they're making a killing whether you get out or not. You know, like I mentioned, even if you just do a year of this, they will make an absolute killing. In order to really recoup your money, you will probably have to stay on for this thing for potentially the rest of your life, and potentially vacation at least for 1 month in the year. And most people honestly cannot vacation, don't have the vacation time to travel enough to recoup their money from something like this vacation club. My advice to you will just pay for your vacations in cash if possible and invest the difference. Do not sign up for a vacation club. Do not sign up for a timeshare because you will potentially regret it. And there are people out there that are also in denial. Sometimes when we've been scammed, we like to think of it as, okay, I'm actually using this. Okay, it's not that bad. But the truth of the matter is sometimes we just don't want to admit that we feel like someone got one over on us and we stay into, let's say, a vacation club longer than we probably should. All right, family, I hope my experience with this vacation club is beneficial to you. I think most people out there by now know to stay away from a timeshare. But now they have this thing that called a vacation club, which I will admit is a lot more appealing than a timeshare, but it is still a very bad financial investment. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified of when I post something new. And like I always say, God bless you, and remember to live your best life.